Well, new housing numbers out showing a slight uptick in existing home sales last month, but it also shows that 2010 was the worst year for home sales since 1997. And while the market is showing promising signs, housing seems to be one of those sticking points or stubborn areas that's not getting much of a lift. Are we still years away from any sort of a rebound because of that? Well, here now is Rich DeSalvo of Rich DeSalvo Consulting and author of The Power of Pain. Rich, good to have you as always. How about it? Are we still seeing some pain out there because of the housing market? Is it slowing the rebound, the recovery?
It certainly is. Let's be frank about it, Kelly. At a $14 trillion deficit, what would you expect? You're not going to really see the turnaround. Let me just kind of answer the question until probably 2014.
Wow.
Yeah. And think about it, too. Well, last year you had about 3 million foreclosures. This year, probably 2.5, then 2 million. The typical rate for us in our country has been around 600,000. So it's going to be a while yet. You're going to see, frankly, potential buyers today are going to be renting still for a while. So, you're not going to see any dramatic trends in terms of helping our unemployment rate with construction workers getting back to work anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. And what you said about 2014, that kind of goes along with what Fed Chair Bernanke was talking about as well, that it's still a few years before, 4 to 5 years as a matter of fact, before we see a total rebound. Having said that, what's going on with our cities and our states? Because the adversity index is up and away for some of them, and they're being beleaguered financially.
They are. And if you look at just municipals in general, municipalities in general, let me say it differently. They need to stop printing money and start printing jobs. We've got a bigger issue here. So the municipalities themselves are hurting. The tax rates or the mill rate, the cost per thousand on the taxable rate of the home is going down. So the housing function, it's such an integral part. But if you look at the bigger picture, and Kelly, at 10% unemployment, how can the municipality even survive?
You talk about printing jobs. I like that. That's a very good way to quote what's going on out there, that people should be printing jobs. And we were just talking earlier with Peter Ducey about how the president on December 6th made a very rousing speech about pro-America, creating, manufacturing, and building more so that the world would begin buying American products made in America. Having said that, is that the right course to take, creating more jobs out there through manufacturing and even through things like infrastructure, which of course can be very costly?
Okay. Yes, but let me put a comma after that. Yes, it is, Kelly, but here's the issue. We just can't keep on going on with this deficit. I'm sure you realize the statutory limits, and out of about 14.3, another 300 billion more to go, we actually hit the cap of our spending. So therefore, there's something, the phrase I'll use, it's a common phrase out there, is a zero-sum game. If you want to spend another dollar and print another dollar, you need to save a dollar someplace else.
Rich, before we go, I got to ask you this question then. If we're cutting the spending, how do we increase the jobs out there so that we can see a rebound in that 4 to 5 year window you're speaking of, or that 2014 date that you're speaking of?
If you look at the person right now that's collecting an unemployment check, the 10% population, if you would, we need them to become taxpayers again. So what I think the administration really needs to spend their dollars on is helping the private sector, not the public sector, the private sector, getting them to hire people who are currently on the unemployment pay scale.
But that's what a problem. Private sector is out there sitting on trillions of dollars, we understand, and not hiring people because they're still leery or uncertain about the future.
That's correct. In fact, they've got right now, ready for this, $2 trillion sitting in cash. In fact, they're hiring temps. They're not hiring people. Temp agencies are doing fantastic right now. So therefore, Kelly, what they need to do is, instead of hiring another temp, you need to get somebody back on the payroll and look to the government to help them a little bit to do that. I'll take that trade-off.
Rich DeSalvo, we thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. Enjoy.